Hmm. Sorry, guys, I'm still trying to figure this out. Hmm. Well, this is interesting. It does say I'm live. So I'm going to check real quick and see what you guys can see because I can't see me. Because this is still new to me. And I'm not too sure what's going on. What? Ah, there I am. That's not quite how I wanted it, but it's my first stream to Twitch. Hi, my name is Jamie, and there we go. Yep. So we're live. Welcome back to Knituntilidie. I'm getting fancy. I'm using StreamYard. I thought that since I'd like to go live more often, it might make sense to go live on more than one platform. So I am new to Twitch. I am a knitter and a crocheter. I live in Wyoming. I've been posting videos, not a lot, but I've been posting videos for almost a year now on YouTube. Well, I think 9 months. However, I'm still learning how to do all of this, like with editing and different software. How you can contact me should be in the description, but my email is Knituntilidie. My the Instagram that I have is at knit till I die, like my YouTube and my Twitch. The other one that's different is again my email because it's knituntilidie@gmail.com. I'm in my 40s. I live in Wyoming, like I said. Thank goodness it is finally night. Well, I say nice weather, but it's cooler weather. And I'm definitely enjoying that. I'm wearing one of my self-drafted shirts today. I knit it out of one strand of fingering, basically sock yarn, from the Yarn Loving Lady on Etsy and Instagram. Her handle is Yarn Loving Lady. Lisa Yarn Loving Lady on Instagram, and on Etsy it's fudge. On Etsy it's Yarn Loving Lady by Lisa. She has a lot of different colorways. This colorway was Reading and Wine, and it's not in her shop. So I don't know if I have not seen it in her shop for quite a while. So I don't know if she's still doing this colorway or not. The yarn is super, super soft, and the garment is lightweight, but it's still warm, but not overly so. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I finally have some nice little pink or redness to my cheeks. It's been a while. I've been getting iron infusions, and my next one my last one's coming up this week. I'm really excited to reap the benefits of that. So since most of you don't know me, again, my name is Jamie and I live in Wyoming. We have 2 dogs. Humphreys, who is a large-sized dachshund. He's not really a standard, but he's not really a mini either. He's somewhere in between. And he's a black and tan, and he's my beautiful little boy. And then we have Bella, who's Mom's little girl. She's a Chiweenie, definitely has Chihuahua ears. And her coloring is very pretty. She's just a very pretty gray colored mix. And she is 8 years old, and Humphreys just turned 6 this year. So, well, she just turned 8, and Humphreys turned 6 earlier this year. So they're not exactly spring chickens, but they're not super old either. We just lost, I shouldn't say we just lost. We had to say goodbye to my old man, 15 years old, and he was having a lot of problems with doggy dementia and struggling to do stuff if I wasn't there. I'm not knowing where to be if he wasn't with me. I'm getting really anxious if he wasn't with me. He'd go looking for me and get lost and start scream barking for me. And he just kind of had he'd been on the decline for a long time, but finally it was time to let him go. And we did. And he's cremated and back home. I am really, really excited that he's here. And I am welcoming all of you to my channel. What else? I work for a nonprofit in Wyoming that serves families and children with increased needs or different needs, which is called Uplift. I really enjoy working there, and I really like the work that's being done. It's not just needed, it's necessary. And I feel bad that it's necessary, but I'm glad that there's organizations like Uplift that will step in and help. Let's see. We just had a fundraiser, a local fundraiser. Hello. I am working on my Never sweater. Or not Never sweater, sorry. This is the Night Bloom sweater. I think I have it here. There it goes. And it's a sweater that I'm making for my mother for Christmas. Are you working on anything today? Maybe I missed you. What are you working on? Are you knitting or crocheting or cross stitching? Oh, cool. Do you like to make plushies? Ah, cool. I'm just starting to learn how to make plushies. I've been crocheting for a long, long time. I started when I was about 5 years old, but I was never really into making plushies. However, recently I've seen some really cute patterns that I've been interested in trying. So I got a couple free, and then I got a couple that you pay for, um, just to see how I kind of like it. Do you do markets or sell your goods online? Well, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I always like getting my crafting in when I can. That's awesome that you sell stuff. Do you enjoy kind of the customer service side of it as you're selling, or do you just sell online? Oh, okay. That makes sense. I haven't been selling items mainly because I've been working on making stuff that we can give to folks when they have a baby or they have someone in the hospital, or little things, little gifts that we can give um, when we have when something arises, because sometimes you just don't have enough time to or the gumption to sit down and make them. Ah, cool. So I like having stuff put away. I have an entire bin right now that's sitting out of completed stuff um, that we can use for people when we need them. Because I'm not the fastest knitter or crocheter around. Um, but I've kind of worked on honing my skills. I'm sure you have too. Um, and I work on, especially in knitting, trying different things that I've never tried before. This was my first colorwork sweater and my first colorwork picture, kind of like picture, my first colorwork object ever. And I've never done two at a time sleeves, and I'm doing two at a time sleeves right now, which realistically, once you learn how to do the magic loop, you can do two at a time of anything, um, which I'm enjoying. What colors are is your cow going to be? Most of the stuff that I crochet is like garments. Um, I love making tops, and I'm working on a crochet pair of pants. Oh, okay. Cool. Because I had enough of this yarn left over um, to, I think, make a pair of pants. They may end up being long shorts, but we'll figure it out. But I have two shirts in that colorway, and I would like to have kind of like a matching set. I knitted myself a pink top, and then knitted pink shorts to go along with it. And I always love wearing that combination. So I thought I'd enjoy having more options besides just the pink. Oh, not a problem. My mother is dyslexic, and um, I've learned to figure things out. She didn't know she was dyslexic though until she was, I think, in her late 40s or early 50s. Um, but that's just mom. That's how she's always been, how I've always known her. Um, don't worry about it. In this world, I think we can be tolerant and figure things out and help each other. So don't worry about spelling. My mom's phone likes to autocorrect her with stuff that's not what she meant to say. And she gets kind of frustrated with it. Um, but she does the best that she can, and she's retired now, so she shouldn't have to worry about stuff, but she does. Ah, um, mostly I listen to podcasts and crafting and knitting, crochet, sewing stuff on YouTube. And then sometimes I'll listen to a couple of podcasts um, that are specifically about like knitting and crochet, and then also ones I can't remember if it's knitting and crime or crime and knitting. And that's interesting to listen to. I'm lucky because when I go to work, I for the most part, can get my work done within like half an hour, and so then the rest of my time I get to, huh? Huh. I don't know who that is. I'm actually brand new to Twitch. Um, I've been on YouTube for a little bit, but I'm really brand new on Twitch. I think I was gonna go look and I think that, oh, Netflix. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I we got rid of Netflix because we just weren't really watching it anymore. We were watching more YouTube, and my mom gets the news off of Prime, so we didn't need Netflix. Ah, okay, cool. Well, welcome to the club of the newbies. I have a friend out here in the living room staring at me. She's wondering why I'm talking to the computer. She's laying down in her dog bed. Her name is Bella. She's my mom's Chiweenie, and she is very opinionated about what I should and shouldn't be doing. Um, so, yeah, I'm sure Humphreys will come out later on because his bed is right next to me, um, and he likes to sit next to me. Sometimes he sits on me, but that's okay. He's more interested in what mom's doing because she's going in and out. Oh, awesome! I love dogs and cats. We used to have a cat named Phoenix, and she would bark like a dog because she had been raised with dogs and not with cats. So she didn't know really how to be a cat, and so she was a lap dog. And she'd go out and play with all the little kids in the neighborhood and let them pick her up. And she was just the sweetest little thing. And we had her for, I think, about 13 years before she passed. And then mom's gentleman caller at the time had a, oh, that's awesome. I love cats that are just so friendly. I understand why some are, more aloof and more independent. But man, I loved Phoenix. Well, my mom's gentleman caller had gotten a cat for his cat because he thought his cat was lonely. And his cat and this other cat would just fight all day long. So we had lost Phoenix like 2 years before. So mom agreed to bring Annabelle home, and we had Annabelle for another 10 years, I think, because Daryl was not the first home that she'd gone to. She'd kind of gone through several homes. So she came and lived with us and did really well until one day she just got sick. But you can't you can't really know when they're she got her kidneys basically just shut down on her, and so she was ill for a long time, but we didn't know. And I don't know, I kind of miss her. She didn't particularly care for me, and that's okay. She was definitely my mom's cat. But I've had dogs my entire life. And most of them have been dachshunds. Actually, most of them have been miniature dachshunds. Humphreys is my first one that's like a house sized. He's 20 pounds, so he's too big for being a miniature, but he's too small to be a standard. Oh, that's awesome. Now I don't know. Let's see here. Um, let's see. I don't know. Let's see here. Nope. I'm not sure how to do that. But I listed my Instagram in the in the description box. And so if you would like, you can tag me in it on Instagram. I'd love to see it. I do have Facebook, but I'm keeping it private for right now because it's just family. Mhm. Since you're doing plushies, do you have specific um, stitch markers that you use, or do you like to use just some yarn or? Ah, that makes sense. That's a good way to do it. Ah, my boy's back. No, I don't make patterns. I'll self draft stuff, but I don't make patterns for anyone else. Um, I just like experimenting and taking a stitch and kind of flying with it. My most recent one, I made it out of the modern granny stitch. But I think it would probably be infringing on somebody else's creative rights. Do you ever listen to Crochet Vision or Passionate Kelsey? Um, I don't think Kelsey does plushies, but I know that Sarah at Crochet Vision does. Well, there went the dogs. Oh, that's right. Mom said Marty was coming. Her gentleman caller came over to say hi to her. We haven't been able to catch up with him in a couple of days. So, of course, my dog has to think he has to protect the entire neighborhood. What else to say? Oh, Humphreys is a dachshund. He's not small enough to be a miniature, and he's not big enough to be a standard size. So he's somewhere in the middle because he weighs 20 pounds. And realistically, for his size, he should probably only weigh about, well, they want him to get down to like 16, but I don't think he'll get down that small because he's got a lot of muscle on him. What kind of dogs do you have? Ah, Maltese. Yeah, I had a Maltese mix for a while. He was kind of a hard luck case. He'd been through a lot before we found him, and he was known as a biting dog. And I just couldn't leave him in the position he was in because they were going to just tie him up and leave him. So I got into the car with him, and he promptly jumped in Mom's lap. And Mom was like, "Oh no," because she knew that this dog bit. But he didn't bite her, and he didn't bite me, and he acclimated to the house really quickly, and he loved to go for rides. But he was a Maltese poodle mix, and he was definitely kind of odd looking, but he was my good pal. And then we had, at the same time, we had Taffy. I named my dogs after food for a long time till I grew up. And Taffy was a Pomeranian, but she's what we called a house Pomeranian because she was big. She wasn't overweight, but she was just a bigger dog than what Pomeranians are supposed to be, that they're bred down to be now. Because they used to not be as small as they are now. And oh, she was awesome. And then we had Snoopy. We got him from a veteran who was passing away. He came and lived with us for several years. And right around the time that we got Snoopy, I got Watson, who's my old man who just passed. And he was 15 years old. So, what's the best part of having animals to you? I think they're fun and exciting and keep me on my toes. And Humphreys likes to keep track of us. He gets to go to work with me. Ah, yes. I know that service dogs are expensive and hard to come by, but when you need them, it's always good to have, when you can get them. I know insurance kind of is a bugaboo about paying for them, which seems really stupid to me. But the insurance companies in this world are not always, they're not thinking with their hearts, and I try to think with my heart. I'm kind of excited because yesterday I got a new chair, this one that I'm sitting in, and it's electric so that it can help me stand up when I'm having bad days. My aunt and her husband um, gave it to me. They were very kind, um, and brought it over from their house because they live in another state, not super far away, but it's still another state. And I wasn't sure that I'd really like it, but it is a nice chair. Because there's days that like I have to use my wheelchair or my walker, and on days like that where my body's just not playing fair. Now I'm kind of glad that we got this chair because it helps me stand up and do kind of get going like I need to. Um, Plus, I could lean against it when I'm really dizzy. Ah, I wouldn't be able to get up off the floor if I got down that low. I used to love bean bags, and I didn't mind sitting on the floor, but now my body just does not play nice with that, and I don't know. It's like you take the wins when you can find them. And I think one of those wins is my boss letting me take my dog to work. He's not a service dog by any means, and he has more anxiety than I do. Um, but he's my good boy, and he lets me know when people are in the hallway because we're in a where we work, we're in a locked hallway, and so you have to know basically know the codes to get in. And he lets me know when people are um, out there in the hallway because that always makes him nervous. Although he's gotten better about not being upset when the owner of the building comes barging in because he forgets what days I work. And so a lot of times I'll be in there with Humphreys and he'll unlock, just come barreling in, unlock and come barreling in, which upsets Humphreys. But at least Humphreys doesn't bark at him anymore. And he's getting used to him. And we really don't see my boss very often because she works from out of town mostly now. So it's usually just me and Humphreys in the office. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, Goldens tend to be kind of that way. I used to have one that I would walk in the neighborhood, and he was so nice, a little dense, but very, very nice, and loved everybody, and wanted attention from everybody. Have you ever tried one of the Volare pillows? They kind of look like what are they called? Bop pillows or boppies or whatever. But it's for people that crochet or knit or game. And I have found this is not sponsored or anything. I bought my own, but I have found that it's really nice. And I really enjoy working with it. So it's been something that's I have really enjoyed because I bought it about a month ago, and I even take it on car trips with me. Um, but yeah, do you have any special tools that you like to use? I know everybody has the crochet hooks, but like I don't know. Do you like a specific brand or um, anything like that? Okay. Yeah, I'm one of those people that I can use pretty much any hook out there. I don't really have a favorite. I'm not a big fan of furls because they're expensive and to me they break pretty easily. But I I have a huge bag of crochet hooks. But when it comes to knitting needles, as stupid as it sounds, I do not like anything but my Chagoos. Um, but that's probably because they're what I started with and they're I'm really used to them, but I don't know, the yarn just seems to move better on them and I like the cords. Yeah, scrap yarn. Yep. I usually take my scrap yarn and turn it into blankets. Um, well, that and mom's, because I get tired of those, half skeins or balled up. So when we get a basket full, I turn them into a blanket. Um, so we have quite a few blankets around here, but mom's getting ready to donate again, which means I need to make more blankets. Ah, I think I'm not particular about my crochet stuff because I started with my great grandmother's, and it was a mixture of plastic and metal and um, just scrap yarn that she didn't want. And over time, I just, I'd buy stuff from the thrift stores, and I just got used to using pretty much anything. I will say though that I do like the lighted hooks, especially when I'm working on dark yarn, because that dark yarn, man, can sure give me a run for my money, especially if it's like a dark blue or a black. Um, oh, okay, cool. That's cool that you made your hooks. I'm not that talented. Yeah. That's really cool because that's a skill that a lot of people don't have. And that's a marketable skill. You could probably, if you found a way to make it easy for yourself, you could probably make that part of your business because people do like custom hooks. I just really am. That's not a skill that I have, and I'm not that talented. Um, but that's really cool that you do. Oh, okay. When I first started knitting, someone gave me their grandmother's old knitting tools, and I had a plastic. She'd given me a plastic circular needle, and I knew it was older, but I didn't think it was brittle. And my aunt was having emergency surgery that day, so we drove over to Nebraska and to be with my aunt. And I accidentally sat down on my project and broke the needles. And I did not know enough to know how to pick up my stitches and salvage it. Now I can, but that was at the very beginning of my knitting adventure. My mom loves to crochet. She's making herself a hexagon cardigan out of some wool from a local mill that we like to go to. We're about an hour and a half away from it. And that's an experience. It's called Brown Sheep Company, and they're in Mitchell, Nebraska. They have wonderful, wonderful colorways, beautiful yarn. They're kind of on the expensive side, but if you can go to the mill itself and buy in their shop, it's way less expensive. It's way more affordable. And if you go to the mill, they give you a tour of the mill and you get to see how the yarn is made and all the different machines that it goes through, and how they dye it and, all the stuff that they do. Uh, I love crocheting blankets. I do not like knitting them. It takes too long. And so most of my knitting is actually garments because even though they take a long time, I like the product that I get out of it. And either I use it or mom does or one of our friends does. So it's not, I don't know, I get better satisfaction out of it. But if I'm going to make a blanket, I'm going to crochet it. And 'tis the season because mom's getting ready to donate the ones that I've made this year. Um, so I'll have to get hooking and find all of her little balls and turn them into a new blanket. I used, hmm. Oh, that's cool. Our, like local yarn shop closed down, and we don't really have a lot of anywhere that would sell like handcrafted goods for the most part, unless you go to some of the summertime, what are they called? Fairs or the, no, fairs or little conventions and stuff that we have. I live in Wyoming, and I know that there's a lot of Ohio that's rural, but y'all have a lot more people than we do. We don't even have 600,000 people in the entire state, and our capital city is like just under 80,000 people right now. So we have a lot of land. We're just population wise a really tiny state. So we don't have a lot of stuff that other places do, which is why we end up going to like the mill in Nebraska and visiting the yarn shops and stuff down in Colorado. Because Colorado has a lot more than we do. Even Nebraska has more than we do. I think right now we're still at the bottom for population in the whole United States. I think we have the least amount of people. I think we're even smaller than Alaska. Um, or we were a couple years ago, anyways. Um, it's too quiet. She must have taken those dogs outside, probably so they can have a chat, which is fine. Oh, okay. Go take care of yourself. Thank you so much for stopping by. So we should be at almost an hour. I've only got a couple more stitches on this sleeve. Well, you just made a new friend. Bye. Saturdays at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, which I think you guys are an hour ahead of us, so that would be 2 o'clock your time. And then I'm working on trying to figure out what other day I can go live, and then I'll get that posted. Thank you much for stopping, and have a good meal and have a great day. So like normal, I like to end my videos by giving you some reminders. I'd like you to remember that you're wanted, you're needed, and you are loved. Be kind to everyone, including yourself, and I'll catch you next time.